Hi guys. So I decided to come on and kind of do a video diary of my journey as a mom. So I became a mom at 16 years old, and my daughter is turning 16 years old at the end of the month. Well, March 1st. So I figured it would be kind of cool for me to go ahead and kind of reflect over these past 16 years and my journey in womanhood and what made me a mom. Well, we know what made me a mom. But how I evolved as a mom from a 16-year-old girl into a 32-year-old woman. And the things that we've gone through over the years, it's been one hell of a journey for Jalesia and myself. And 2 years after she was born. The hell is that? Is that a fly? Ah! Ugh. I don't like riding no bike car. So okay, I'm back. So yeah, I don't know what the hell that was. Yeah, it's been quite a journey. It took quite a village to kind of get us to where we are. Us meaning, Jaleesa, myself. 2 years after I had Jaleesa, I had my son. And it has been, I'm just happy, to sit here and be looking at this moment at my aunt's house, who was a real important structure as well in Jaleesa, in all of our lives. I don't want to just say Jaleesa's life, in all of our lives. And I'm just kind of sitting back and reflecting to the time that I had told my mom that I was pregnant with Jaleesa. Like, that was crazy. So I got a series of a whole bunch of different stories that I'm going to kind of explain to everybody. Because everybody kind of think I'm like really, really funny. And I don't think I am. I'm just, I'm dead ass. I'm not being funny. I'm just being realistic with a lot of things that I say. So a lot of people think I'm funny. A lot of people for years have been saying, "Oh, yeah, you should vlog. Your family's so funny. Oh, your family should have a sitcom. Oh, your family." And this from friends and from family. So I'm like, "Oh, okay, yeah, that's funny or whatever." But a lot of people kind of like what I say on the surface, but a lot of people can't handle the way I really am, the raw me with my kids. My mom hates it. My mom hates it. But it's produced two very successful grandchildren for her. Her only grandchildren, by the way. So that's probably why she feels like that. But everybody's always said, "Oh, you and your travels and stuff. Oh, you guys should do travel video vlogs, and you guys you should show everybody what you and your family life is like." It's really not that interesting. I'm a very boring person. I don't go out. If I go out, I'm traveling. I'm not, I don't do, family outings are not what other people's family outings usually would kind of be like. So those are later vlogs. But for today, I'm gonna tell you guys a story about how I told my mom I was pregnant with Jaleesa. So I had gone to my doctor's office, and my cousin Carlise took me, and it was like an OB visit. Like, I knew I was pregnant. My pediatrician told me, "You know what? You need to go to the OBGYN." Which I had already had by that point. I had birth control, but I clearly clearly it wasn't doing what it was supposed to be doing. So I had gone to, Carlise had taken a day off school. We both were in high school, and had taken me to the doctor's office. And we came out. My mom had like this appointment. No, it wasn't an appointment book. It wasn't an appointment book. My mom been so organized her whole life. She's so organized. For people like me, it's disorder. So my mom had like this little card book with, like, how you used to keep your CDs back in the day, and like this organizer or whatever. This is what her business cards were in. And in the business cards in this booklet was like our health insurance cards, our social security cards, IDs, stuff like that. So in there, I had gotten an ultrasound that day. So in that booklet, I had slid my ultrasound of Jalesia in there, and I had handed it to Carly so I could pay my copay. You know, I was always very mature, you know, pay my own copay since I was 14 years old. Proud little girl. So I handed the booklet to Carlise, and you know she's sitting back, and I think she was dumbfounded by what she had seen, but she didn't say anything. So we got in the car, and she's like, "What? What? What? You got something you want to say?" I was like, "Nope," and give my shit. So I took it back from her, and just so happened like that weekend. I had gone to my aunt's house. I always go to my aunt Carla's house for everything. So I gone to my aunt Carla's house, and we went for a ride. My aunt loved to take rides. So we were going for a ride, and she's like, "Geez, you got something you want to tell me, don't you?" "No, I don't." "Let's go get something to eat. How about that?" So we were riding, and she's like, "I feel like you got something you want to tell me." So I eventually, came clean in the car. I'm crying. She's crying. We're crying babies. We're crying together. So she's like, "You got to tell my sister because I don't know what you thought this was or whatever, but you going to tell my sister." I was like, "Yeah, I'm going to tell her, when I get ready to tell her. Obviously, I got to tell her, I got to tell her before something happens, I give birth like I did with my son, but that's a whole nother story. That's later. So yeah, and my biggest thing is I've always been like really afraid to disappoint my mother because my mother has made such huge sacrifices for all of her children, all three of us. So I never wanted to disappoint my mom. So I understand, I have a sister. I understand where my aunt was coming from. So like the next day, I was working at a grocery store, and my mom had let me use her car, have my license or whatever. I bought my mom's car, or she let me use her car. I went to work. I gassed her car for her. I washed her car. I cleaned that B-I-T-T-A out. B-I-T-T-A is inside like a family joke. We had a little kid in our family who couldn't spell, and he used to say, when people used to say the B word, he used to be like, "Oh, she said B-I-T-T-A." So that's an inside family joke. Because I really know how to spell it, just in case y'all act like, "Oh, kind of teacher don't know how to spell bitch." But I do. So anyway, we go to my aunt's house, and we're sitting in her house. She had just bought this house, like, 2 doors down from my grandparents' house. And she ain't had no furniture in the damn house. She had like this double, like, one of the game chairs you take to the games, like football games. They got like a cooler in the middle. So we're all at my aunt's house in the living room, whatever. And my aunt's like, "Oh, Renora, come sit down. Come in my house." She's like, "I don't want to go to your damn house, Carla." My parents, they were hot mess. If you ever wonder where I get it from, if you would have ever seen an interaction with my mom, her sister, you would understand my dysfunction. So she's like, "I don't want to go to your house, Carla. I got my own house. I'm ready to go home. I'm tired. Shit." So she's like, just come see this new this new chair me and Larry got. So my mom comes to the house. She sits down. And she looks at the chair. She's like, "Okay, it's a chair. So what? So you can bring it in the game. I'll see you Sunday. Bye." So she's like, "No, sit down. It's nice. Oh, it's so nice. You got to sit down. You got to enjoy this chair. It's everything." So, oh my God, it's making me so emotional just thinking about it because I miss my aunt so much. She passed away a couple years ago. So she bullies my mom. She's like, "Sit your ass in the chair. Sit down." So my mom, "Oh, sit down." So she says, "Sit down in the chair." So, my mom sit down in the chair. So she's like, "All right. I'm in the chair. I'm sitting down. What's good?" So she's in the chair. She's like, "Okay, what's happening next? Is it gonna heat up? Is it gonna start shaking or some shit? Like, what's so spectacular about this damn chair?" So she's in the chair, and I'm like, so my aunt like nudging me like, "And this is your moment." So I'm like over in the corner like, "Mom, pregnant." I'm whispering, like just super whispering, "Pregnant. Mom, got a baby." So my mom's talking, and my aunt's like, "Renner, if you don't shut the fuck up, like right now, shut up, and listen." So I'm like, "Mom, having a baby." My mom was like, "What? Like, this is not funny. I gotta go to work. Stop playing." So I'm like, "Mom, you have a baby?" My mom like starts crying. So of course, to see my mom cry, I start crying. So we're like both these sobbing, beings, just water bags. I look over, my aunt's crying, my Uncle Larry. Let me tell you something about my Uncle Larry, okay? I ain't never seen this man cry a day in his life. Scares the shit out of me. At 32 years old, this one thing you know in our family, you don't wake up Uncle Larry. You know, go home, go down to his house, take no mess down to his house, like ruckus or none of that. And he ain't no punk. So the fact that I saw my Uncle Larry crying, like I'm really crying because I'm like, oh my God, he about to beat the hell out of me. I only got one whooping from this man in my life, and like he about to beat the fire out of me. And it's just this whole situation. So then my sister comes down to the house and she's like, oh my God, you having a baby? So it's like this whole situation. We kind of bond over this whole moment. And my mom was like, you still take your ass to school. I don't know what you thought. You still going to school. So, kind of as time evolved, not as time evolved, as that weekend evolved, we had a lot of conversations that weekend. And kind of sitting back and reflecting, now my daughter is the same age, essentially, that I was when I gave birth to her. I see a lot in that. And, I always knew, I've always been a mature girl, always, like that's always been a given. But I always knew that I didn't want for her to have to sit back and have to receive, I want to make sure I say this right. I didn't want Jaleesa to be raised in an environment that was anything less than what she deserved, because she didn't ask to be here. I brought her here. So for that reason, I never wanted her to, because she was born to a teen mom, to not be able to have the opportunities that so many of her peers would have, just because I decided that I was going to go out and I was going to have a baby at 16 years old. That's not how it happened, by the way. But just because she became, just because I was a teen parent. So we'll leave it at that. But so I literally, I knew when I was pregnant. I knew when I was carrying her. I wanted her to have the best possible life she could have without spoiling her to a certain degree. Because a lot of people go wrong with that. Oh, I'm going to give my baby everything I didn't have. And this, that. No. Jaleesa and Jaquan ain't got that. We don't do that at our house. So it would just became like this whole thing where I wanted to make sure that she was going to have every opportunity to have a level playing field as a little girl. So that when she became a woman, as a child, let me rephrase that, as a child. So when she became an adult, she would be on a level playing field. So that's how I raised. That's how this all began, and I just want to thank her for that. She's getting ready to turn 16 years old. She's a really, really, really bright girl, really smart. She is very humble, very sweet, very nurturing. Jaleesa is, the reason I am who I am and where I am today, and in conjunction with my mother. Because after I had her, I'm like, okay, now what am I going to do? I knew I wasn't going to drop out of school. That wasn't an option because I did really well in high school. But that wasn't an option to drop out or anything like that. But I'm thinking like, okay, after high school, then what? And my mom's like, you taking your ass to college. Like, what do you mean? Like you were going to do anyway. Because I wanted to be an anesthesiologist when I was younger. And she was like, you taking your ass to college. I'm like, I don't want to go to college. I got a baby. I breastfeed. How? She's like, and we'll buy you a fridge and a pump, and you can pump from campus, and I'll come get it once a week. So, only thing I'm not paying for is childcare, and you work at campus. You've been working since you was 14. You gonna work and send money home, and for childcare, and I'll cover the rest. So Jaleesa lived with my mom when I went off to college. But that's a whole nother story. So yeah, I've been talking for a minute, but essentially this is, the beginning of video diaries for Jaleesa. I was going to start on the 1st of February and carry it through to all of February, but my back has been bothering me. Let me tell you something. Working to take care of these kids. I got 2 kids. I stopped at 19. I stopped at 19 because once we like really kind of, once my son fell asleep and like I was able to sleep through the night, I never forgot that day in my life. I never forgot that day. So I was like, I think it's time. These kids are breaking me financially. And I couldn't, I knew I could not afford to have any more kids. So yeah, so these kids want the world. Jaleesa's, turning 16 soon. She's going to be taking AP courses next year, which costs money for the exam. She's going to be going to college soon. She wants to go to HBCU, which we ain't got none of those in New York State, which means she's going to be an out-of-state student. I never really, I knew they existed when I went to, when I went to college and whatnot. But anyway, I'm about to spend a whole bunch of money in the next 2 years. Next 10 years. So, I work a lot. And my back has been bothering me. So that's why I start. But I might double up on a couple and kind of get caught up because I'm only behind by 2 videos. But yeah, so this is going to be every single day. Talking about, little memories I have of Jalesia because I got them for days. Let me tell you something. I got them for days. Days and days and days. And just cute little stories, that I know that she knows of and kind of remembers. And I kind of want to be able to reflect on that. So stay tuned because I will hit you with a new one tomorrow. Bye.